Bar Baby down the outside. Bubba's Bay momentarily reached the lead. I reckon a bounding might have it. Party for two still there. Abbott Girl running on. A bounding with a big balding face. She's back and back with a bang.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. This is our Brisvegas show. We talk all things Queensland racing. I've got Donnie in the hot seat with me.
G'day, Scooter. Yeah, good to be here on the quick backup from Wednesday. We had some feature racing at the midweeks, which is always good and always something to watch and have a bet on, and back again at Doomben on Saturday. So it's the same thing this week. We're on big time weather watch to see how much rain's going to fall today and tomorrow.
Yeah, it is strange. We recorded last Friday, but you boys updated the tips kindly early in the week, and it does feel like we're on the quick backup. We've got the super sub. We've got the commander-in-chief, I call him, at MacBet, Johnny McLeod. He's getting a bit of sun on the beak out there. How are you, mate?
Yes, good, mate. Just sitting out here in the garden here, just cruising along.
Garden of Eden, I'll call.
I think Tizzy was a bit unlucky on Wednesday with a few of them that got rolled. It was just ridiculous. Well, I think a few, especially that second last one, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, last week, Wednesday was pretty good. Labella Boom, a few of the boys lined up on that one. Torabella was an easy watch. And then, yeah, as you said, busting, it looks like it's returned to career best form. And, yeah, really, really unlucky. I think John Walter had $20 on for his son and had to pay him out anyway. And then I think the other tip was Tabs. It was like a pinball for the first 600. But, yeah, it was great racing, and they probably pulled the right rein by not running the meeting. And as you boys have alluded to, it's big weather watch. They've got 10 mil overnight, Donnie tells me, and there's about 20 or 30 mil during the day tomorrow, and it looks like it's set in all day, so at least 20 mil during the day. So, GK, what about you? Are you in the rubber ducky yet up in Brisbane?
It's getting close. It started raining at my house already. Yeah, look, I wish it rained before Wednesday from midnight in Tokyo. I'm still spewing about that, getting Navy in the highway beat and then getting rolled. So, look, it looks like it's going to be a heavy deck. And then it's just, where they're going to get to on this track. I think with the rain during the day, like the inside's just going to chop out. So I think I said last week that I think that they were going to head to the middle of the track when it chops out the inside. So maybe the first few will be okay, but I'd say by probably race 3 or whatever, lanes 1, 2, 3 will probably chop out and, they'll be heading off.
Old TopSport have got 110% market on the George Moore Stakes. So that's race 8. That's 3 till 4 every Friday. So one to look out for, and they're going to roll those promotions through until Magic Millions. So make sure you set your clock for Friday 3 till 4 Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. So if you're a Queenslander, it's a little bit early, 2 till 3. So 110% market makes it pretty irresistible, especially if these boys are taking on a favourite or rubber stamping one. Donnie, you're going to put the mouthguard back in, and you're going to go to Sunny Coast Friday night in race 2, and then we're going to have a look at a few races at Doomben tomorrow, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we'll do 8, 9 and 10 in a bit more depth, and then we might just throw out a hypothetical $100 bet in race 7 just to help you guys at home formulate some sort of quaddie. But I'd probably be taking the quaddie later in the day and make sure we get that track pattern established. So as GK's alluded to, yeah, it could be fence completely off. TopSport Steam were pretty good. Torabella was a $1,500 bet, and there was that sneaky one, $400 on Orton. And it was interesting to hear Melissa Kelly talk about Orton, a couple of the problems that it had, and that was probably one that sort of slipped under the guard a bit, wasn't it? And then just got that dream run, Donnie.
Yeah, it was one of my horses last prep, and I thought it was absolutely gone this preparation. To see it win the listed race on Wednesday was a big shock to me, especially because I'm all around the other 3 horses in the market. So yeah, it's come back in good form. It lays in, so it was good that Dolan got to the fence, but it was a really good win.
Abounding was probably the other one that we spoke about briefly on last week's show. Martin Harley, absolute peach. If you had known it was going to sit 3 back, we sent it as a tip in our syndicate package. I just thought the price was wrong early in the day, but had I known it was going to map there, it was probably a maximum bet job given the way that the track dried out.
Oh, for sure. When the track was racing at good 4 times and Harley used it a little bit early, got one off and then cut through. Didn't even have to come round him. That was as good a ride as you can get from Martin Harley. So it was a good tip, a good win, and she's in for a good preparation, probably culminating on Magic Millions Day. So Heathcote's horses, they build through the preparation, and it's certainly one that's going to keep improving.
She looked terrific in the yard. Nice liver chestnut. Let's have a quick look at Friday night, Sunshine Coast. Hopefully, Donnie can get you away on a winning note. It's race 2. It's a Serendipity Farm. Sounds like John McLeod's farm. It's a 3-year-old maiden plate over 1,000.
I'm in the mangroves.
The funny farm, he says.
Yeah.
Something in the Macbeth water bottles, I think. It's a 3-year-old maiden plate over 1,000. Ulaluve is $3 favourite here. Brazen Neck $5 at TopSport. Belgiado is $6. Click Click Boom $6.50. And Dranitazel is $8. Hey Chardonnay, that's more my go, $10. And then Blue Moose $14. Bolshevik Road $16. And then Rebellious Spirit $26. And you're getting big odds the rest. Donnie, you like the Jack Bruce running here. It's in the maroon and black. Tell us why you like it. Ulaluve.
I think this is its first up run, is it? It was Drew White. Oh, no, this is its last start run. This is Break Free, who's leading in the green and black colours. It's actually $4.60 in the listed plate tomorrow at Doomben. Ulaluve gets off it back. It chases hard. It had a sweet run this day, but it looks like it's flying this preparation. You can see how close it gets to Break Free. I think Break Free is a real proper Saturday or listed level horse, and obviously she is because she's $4.60 in a listed race tomorrow. It was within 2 lengths of that and gapped the rest of the field. I just love that run. The start prior, it was sat wide. It was a wide draw. It was restrained back. Ripped home in some of the best sectionals of the day. Tonight, it's drawn kind of mid to wide, which can work on a wet track at Caloundra over the 1,000. So hopefully they use it up a little bit early and don't get too far back. But it's clearly the horse to be with. I think it's a great bet at around the $3 mark. Just going off that run, if Break Free is $4.60 in a listed race tomorrow, this has to start closer to even money. I think there's not a lot here. I think one of Golin's first starter, Dranzella, it goes okay. Just depends what the market does with that, whether we want to have something on and that. Brazen Axe a leader. It's not too weak. It's pretty weak. And Click Click Boom, our horse beat it last start. So the rain shouldn't hit Sunny Coast too badly tonight. So I think we can start with one of the better bets of the weekend in Ulaluve.
GK, you had a squeeze at this one?
I just had a look at the trials of Dranitzel. I really liked the trial. So that was the one that I had my eyes on early, just at the price. But I guess we'll just see what happens with what we're left with here. I potentially could have something in Dranitzel late.
John McLeod?
Well, at Break Free, the sectionals were fantastic the other day, and the horse was going to go with it, that Oompa Loompa or whatever it's called, as it straightened, and he really tried, and he didn't shirk the task. And I know that the tip on Break Free was that it's a really good horse when it worked one day, and then the next week they worked it again, and they said it's a group horse. So for it to finish, I think it was about 3 lengths behind it, it's going to be very hard to beat. And it's also the right type for a wet track, so I wouldn't be that real worried about the wet for it. So it'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah, Underloo's a prominent wet tracker in his day.
Yeah, I'm with GK too. I think the main threat, or the one that could potentially win, is the Golden horse, Dranitzel. But yeah, I'll be definitely making Ulaluve a big winner and possibly saving on Dranitzel late.
All right. Ulaluve, or Oompa Loompa as John McLeod calls it, looks like it's a almost a lock job and a little saving play on the Australian Bloodstock or Dranitzel. So nice little waxing performance. Yes, J-Mac?
Just before you keep going, isn't it amazing, like last week or Wednesday, that the market had been up for a long, long time, and even that horse you were talking about of Golan's Torabella or whatever it was, like it was off the map there until Wednesday morning, and then they came for it again. It was like everyone was sort of thinking, well, it's going to bounce back a little bit, but they just kept coming on Wednesday. There was it was 2 or 3 of them, and it's amazing what's happening at the moment in the market. Everyone's coming up with the horses and they're being backed. And then the last bit, the big boys are sort of having them even shorter, and they're coming for them again. So it is a time, I think, at the moment to bet a bit early.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And then I think maybe track conditions, and then pattern. And I think the syndicates are adjusting what they're doing as well. So whether they're playing some ducks and drakes and there's some different tactics, I'm not 100% sure, but watching the market is a massive part of the game, as you guys well and truly know. Let's have a look at race 7, and we're talking about Doomben now. And no, actually, we'll go to jump on the gun here. Let's go to race number 1, and I'm going to call it akin to maybe killing Bambi, and I think this is a real interesting play from you, GK. Metal Art's the favourite here, 215 to 235. I Am Artie 320, End Assembly 650, On Point 15, Ovidius $17, Winston Smurfield 18. And you're going to do it. You're going to tip Metal Art, and let's have a look at the replay here. And you're going to step away from the ATM that is I Am Artie. What's going on?
Yeah, look, I Am Artie's certainly paid a few mortgage payments of late, but I think this is the right race to take it on. I wasn't completely sold on the performance at 13.52 back, and I just think Metal Art finally gets into the right race. We draw low. I think first race of the day it's going to be okay. We saw here that it drew wide. It had to push on. It went almost 2 lengths quick to the 800, and Torabella just got a really soft run there and just got off its back and beat it. That performance still rated well. We're now second go at 13.50. We get Rod back on. I just think there is speed in this race. I presume Rod will probably just sit behind leader and just try to angle out. And I just think it's going to be too good here with the weight pull. I just think this is the right race to take on I Am Artie. Yes, there is tempo here, and yes, the eventual track conditions going to play a role, but this thing gets through the wet. So look, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's hard for me to separate these two. I don't think it's a great price, Metal Art, so I couldn't back it. Current prices, I think Queen Air is a really interesting runner first up for Golan. It had some really good Victorian form. It's trialled very nicely. It wasn't let off the bit. It couldn't get out. It should handle the wet. It's had a couple of goes. The stats don't say it does, but they're been in much stronger company. So this is a big step back in grade. It was actually in Sunny Coast tonight, and I'd bet up on it tonight. So I'll have to have something small on it tomorrow, Queen Air, at around 20 to 1. I think it's good value. We know I Am Artie may struggle at the distance, and it handled the wet last start, and Metal Art, it's going good, but I think it's just not quite going as good as it was last preparation.
The other horse that I didn't mind was probably On Point. I think it's an out-and-out wet tracker, but I can see some valid points that GK makes. Johnny Mac?
I think there's a few little points, both you guys have said, they're all true. I think I'm against I Am Artie. That's the one that I'm against. Metal Art will definitely be ridden quieter, and it's a better horse ridden quieter. Now, if he is, like GK said, about third on the fence or fourth on the fence, the only thing I can see as a problem would be they go quick and he can't get off the fence and the horses are swooping around the outside and he's looking for runs. That's the only problem with Metal Art. And the other one, if they are swooping and coming around the outside, well, that's Queen Air. So it's an interesting race. I'd probably rather back Queen Air and save on Metal Art, just at the prices sort of thing, and just play it like that. But I am against I Am Artie today. One thing, our guys in Melbourne did say that it's a poor walker, the bottom one. So that's a little concerned. But with a bit of sting out of the track, it'll help it a little bit. But they did say it's a poor walker.
Interesting to see if it is a bottomless heavy, whether they'll risk it or just save it for another day. Especially given its first up tilt up here. I'm tipping Golan want to make a pretty big impression. But yeah, the horse has been touted with plenty of ability. I remember early in its 3-year-old career, I think DK's always been in the cheer squad for a horse like Queen Air, and she just sort of got lost in the wilderness, as they sometimes do. Doomben Race 2 is the next one. It's the Drinkwise Open Handicap, and it's a 20-30 metre event. And Kerchak, nightmare horse for me, ran through an absolute brick wall. $2.90 favourite here, and gets a nice claim for Cody Collis. Exotic Miss is $4.20. Rogue Bear is $4.60. Habiba is $9. Chasing Artie $9.50. Wapiti $19. And you got June 45.21. Regal Lion stuck with you. Linfort Lad. So it's got a little bit of a tail. This one, 2 replays we're going to have a look at here. GK first. Going to look at Habibi in the first light colours, and this is the race where you took the winner, Donny Felix the Cap. It's the first light horse back on the inside, GK.
Yeah, look, I've been tracking this mare for a while now. I just really like the first two runs. I thought this was another really improved performance. Just as we're starting to step up and trip, we're starting to see what this mare is all about. Like, I thought it was really good there. It was back near last, and then it got up the inside, and it was a bunched finish, but finished alongside El Pensador. Now we get out to the right distance range, and I think most importantly, we get on a rain-affected track, and I went back and looked at some of those French performances, and I won't say that I'm an expert on French form, but some of those tracks are pretty bottomless, and it looked to get through it really well. Look, I think third up here, we're right in the game, and I think it's a really good each way bet at those prices. Look, I originally had Rogue Bear on top, but I think with the track condition, that pushed me more towards Habiba.
And Donnie, you didn't mind Rogue Bear here either. And this is it at Newcastle behind Townsend, I think.
Yeah, it's Townsend led. They led at a crazy fast speed, and he kept going, Townsend. It's actually favourite tomorrow in a Rosehill race. It got back a long way, Rogue Bear on its home track.
So the form sort of stacks up. It's a wet tracker, and I can see why people are drawn to it, but I'm a little bit worried looking at that heavy track French form with Habibi, and just wonder with horses like Kachak, is 2030 going to be a bridge too far? But gee, it was impressive last start.
Yeah, the way it went last start, sitting three deep, no cover, and just powering away, you wouldn't think it would be, but it's still a new pain barrow for it. And when we've got exotic misses in the market, it seems a bit of a hole stepping up to 2,000 on a wet track. So we're probably likely to take that one on unless there's a big leader bias. But Rogue Bear, like you said, it hit the line well last start. It comes out of some good form. It's raced really well in Brisbane prior. It probably can sit a touch closer than Kerchak maybe and Habibi. It's a tricky race, but I would definitely be with Rogue Bear and GK's tip Habibi. Just surprised how short it is. I thought we might get a bit longer price for Habibi.
Be interesting. Barrier 12 and Barrier 9 for both those runners might be the place to be, pending pattern. Johnny McLeod, you're going to make a case for exotic miss?
Yeah, I just think it's going to find the lead pretty easily. Just drops the big weight difference. The other day it was on the worst part of the track in a sit and sprint race where it had the big weight trying to chase a horse that's been able to put it off a slow speed. Fought on well, just going to find the lead. Love horses in these type of races that are dropping all this weight. I think it'll be very hard to beat. I am a little bit concerned the 2,000 on the wet, but it is a dead set wet tracker, and that's what I'm just hoping for, that it can get this 2,000. The BB, it was one run short the other day, so it's definitely going to improve. So that'll help your cause with it, and especially, I suppose, being going, you always can probably see that their horses always improve. I'm against Kerchak. I think it had, even though it was wide the other day, it was in the right part of the track. He came at the right time, put him away, whereas he's got the bad gate, you nowhere to go, not much speed in the race, just potting heavily.
Yeah, outstanding. So you got unanimous team lay on Kerchak, and I've gone off a week too early, which can often happen. Happens a lot. Let's have a look at the quaddie legs here, and we'll just do market only. There's too many colliding form lines here, and this is sort of a race with no heads up from me to you guys. It's the Widden Stud Mode Stakes. I found you a favourite $3. Got the Melbourne form. Scripted was good for done last time, $4.80. Overfull $5. Bollinger missed $9. Surprise Honey $15. She's ours $16. Spicy Martini $18. Your Horse Territory Ash that flashed at big odds. Johnny McLeod $20. Then you got Mixed Signal $21. So Crazy in Love $21. Let's call it a free hypothetical $100 bet. GK, you can go first. Where would you put your free $100 here?
Tough race. I struggled to split three of them, which was Scripted, Overfill, and Break Free. Look, I will have my free 100 on Scripted.
Yeah, outstanding. John, I asked John Walter this question sometimes on the other show, and he just says I'll have 100 on the scratching. So not everyone's plays the game in the right manner. But Donnie, what do you fancy here for your 100?
I think GK is taking that approach because I'm pretty sure Script is going to come out if it's a wet track. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if it's a heavy range in the morning, it's coming out. So it trialled on a wet track during the week, and they said it trains on a wet track. It's no good. So
wow.
Take note for that. I would back Spicy Martini. I think it's just a value runner. I'm not really keen on the favourites, so it's about 20 to 1. I thought it was good, and it's maiden sitting outside the lead. on a hot tempo and being strong late.
Going to have a swing at, it's been snipped 21 into $18. John McLeod, do you want your 100 on Break Free, which is already out of the market? Who are you going to play?
Yeah. This is the race I haven't really done because I thought it was a tough race, and just I'm just banking on what they've said about Break Free. And what's it by? I haven't done this yet, but well, I think it's got the potential. Like the sectionals were fantastic the other day, and I know it probably has to. Those sectionals, we've got them a little bit slower than what the punting form guys have got it, but they were both good, and there's upside there, and he sprinted quickly and tore away. I think he's going to be hard to beat, but as I said, I haven't really done this race because I didn't like it.
It's also in Grafton on Sunday.
He's just got scratched as well, so that might be one to follow into Grafton.
Grafton on Sunday. Break Free's in. Is it out tomorrow?
Yeah, it's just come out as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just come out.
Get your accounts loaded.
Get your accounts loaded for Grafton. Donnie all over it early. Yeah, I think it's a really tricky race, and I was sort of looking around. I found you. Probably bumped into a really strong race, the Red Roses Stakes. Vestas is heavily spruiked, and then Amelita was good. Got the best of the rides in that race with J-Mac. And I think Bridal Waltz has since been disappointing, but just didn't do enough in that Red Roses race. So he might be an absolute wet tracker. I found you, so there could be room for improvement there. Sorry, it's a fillies race, but I'd be looking to bet around her at the $3, but wouldn't be shocked if it wins just by default. But very prohibitive price there at $3. The George Moore Stakes is an interesting one because there's a lot of talk about front page being scratched if it's a heavy track, which is most likely. So the market's going to change dramatically, and probably don't encourage anyone to bet early, given it's a $3.10 favourite at TopSport. Hidden Wealth, or unless you're getting the 110% market, you're going to have to probably play. Maybe they'll scratch it before if we're lucky. Hidden Wealth is $4.60. Next pick, Rothfire, $5.50. Safrado, another one at odds that's was spec'd and flashed first up. $6. The Rastro, one of yours, Donnie, $7.50. Prince of Boom, $8.50. Mullane, $11. Namazu and Smart Image round out that market. Replay we're going to have a look at is Hidden Wealth up at Toowoomba. Take us away, GK.
Look, I just thought this was a fantastic win, and I think this horse gets actually a pretty similar setup here, where we've got, those with the high ratings get in with 5 kilos, 6 kilos, 7 kilos more in the case of Rothfire, which was sort of similar here with Yellow Brick. I think Hidden Wealth is just going to tag in behind Zarastro, and it'll be KWT sitting on his girlfriend's bum there, and I think he's just going to peel outside Zarastro and go past it. And I'm assuming that front page is going to be out of this race, and I just think on this deck, Rothfire 61 first up, long break, not convinced by that. Zarastro, wet track, no. I think Hidden Wealth just gets the perfect run. I think it's got the perfect setup. I think it is incredibly hard to beat here. I'm just not sure about any of the others here with their setups.
Looks the obvious to mine on a bottomless track. John McLeod?
Yeah, I agree. Just don't know whether I think Hidden Wealth will probably lead, and then Zarastro will probably cross him and let him go, because Zarastro did come out a little bit slow the other day in a trial, I think it was too, and there's a bit of team riding here. It could be with Golan. He's got Zarastro and Hidden Wealth. It's just a matter of what he wants to do, how the track's playing. It's going to be very interesting. I didn't like Rothfire. I thought he didn't trial good enough. I didn't like Mullane. I think Safrado's going good. We said that the other day. Caloundra was always going to be the one charging home. It just probably had to give him a bit too much start. But Hidden Wealth, he's trialled like a bomb. But in that trial, he led and let it run. So what would I do if I was sort of had Zarastro and Hidden Wealth? I'd be saying lead on Hidden Wealth, Zarastro, take your time to come around to second. That's what I would have been. That's what I'd be trying to do.
Yeah, I think you guys have found the right horse here in Hidden Wealth, and the conditions should mimic Toowoomba, and Safrado was the only fly in the ointment for mine, because that horse has got a fair bit of strength and has been stretched out to a mile, and that was a really nice pipe opener for him. But Yeah, the only scary part with Hidden Wealth is KWT, who's not really one of mine and can be frustrating at times, to put it politely. Race 9 is the Magic Millions
Geez,
Pierata.
why do you say that, Scott? Have you had a couple of bad beats with him?
Oh yeah, I could write a book about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I like
I
Angela
love him.
Jones, I just seem to be always on the right side of Angela Jones and always on the wrong side of KWT.
Well, you're not on
He's a bit of a
busting.
bulldog.
Well, that's one.
Oh, yeah. It was I think Wilson Taylor's sort of a bulldog, and he does get suspended a lot just because of that, but you don't really want him to you don't want him to be on a horse that's going to have soft hands and lots of stuff. You need him to be on a horse that just needs to be controlled and really punched out. He's a beauty for that.
Yeah, he hasn't been suspended on any of mine, unfortunately. He hasn't got suspended on any of them.
So who's your go-to? Who's your go-to in Brisbane? The one jockey, if you seen him on it, you say beautiful.
Definitely Angela Jones. I just like the way that she puts him in a race, and I just like how she assesses things after the first couple of 100 metres. She sort of, I think she can bluff them a bit at times too. She can look like she wants to lead and then doesn't, or then sometimes she'll just go straight to the front. And I'm not massive on backing front runners all the time, but I think that she definitely makes more good choices than bad choices. I haven't got the stats up here on hand, but yeah, she's profitable. She runs at about she beats the market by about 10%, and then she's got a strike rate of somewhere between 14 and 15%. I reckon she's just ultra consistent.
Yeah, I've always been a Jonesy fan. Right through apprenticeship, I think she's a good jockey.
Yeah.
DK?
Look, I love Angela as well. I think she's fantastic on anything. It doesn't matter where you put them, but especially if you've just those typical golden runners where, whether they lead or whether they just sit in the first 2 or 3 pairs, she's just got great hands. And I think she's one of the better riders in Brisbane who can judge tempo. And I think that's one of the differences between a lot of Brisbane riders and say the better Sydney riders is being able to judge tempo. And I think she can do that.
Less brain fades. I think she's more consistent as well.
It's ripe for the picking once Jace McMurray comes to town. He is just going to destroy them because they're not much there at the moment. With Orman and Maloney are a bit out of form, and it drops off quickly after that, after Jonesy.
We're going to have to put a Jace McMurray special on in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. We'll get him with Donnie, and we'll have a bit of a love affair there. Let's straighten the wheels back up. Doomben race 9. It's the Magic Millions Pierata Plate 1,200-metre event, and this looks like a 2-horse war to my eye. We've got Amazing Eagle, $2.90, but the money horse has been Give Me Space, $3.20 into $3, and Bigger Bet Elsewhere. Cosmic Fire's $8.50. They're aiming up with him. Thought he was good last time, but this is another step up, but maybe the heavy track brings him into it. Mr. Bianco, $11, Boomtime Boss, $11, Super Alloy, $12, King Potter, $14, Street Chase, $19, Pareto, $31, and then Save the Dream, $41. Let's have a look at a couple of replays here, and the first one is Amazing Eagle, and this is in the Brian Crowley, and I think this horse is going to be aimed up for the Magic Millions, and he might even fall into that the slot race. I know that a couple of jockey managers were sort of looking at this horse, and from a fitness perspective, if he was only having a pipe opener here, I could sort of bonus this performance, and I haven't got the trial on hand, but wow, he came out and trialled like an absolute rocket since this win, and a lot of those horses would go pretty close here, but we are talking about perhaps the best horse in Queensland here in the Lockwood colours, buried back in the coffin, GK. I sort of half scrunched up my ticket, especially here when he's about to cop a squeeze, but gee, spread wings. Even there, you think, he can't win here. And then, wow, he does it with 100 metres and overhauls them, GK.
Yeah. Like, it's just, this is the win of the month, I thought, and they just don't win from there, right? Like, it really got clear air at maybe the 150, and then, the last 400 was still like 5 flanks quick, and yeah, like they set it up. It was good tempo in that race, but it was just absolutely explosive, and just did everything you see from a really, really, really good horse. Yeah, look, I was on track at Flemington, and I was cursing the world at that stage. And then when he got out and won, I was happy as Larry. Look, I do think this is a 2-horse race. I also, when I looked at Amazing Eagle and, I looked at the trials, like I thought they were great trials. But I did wonder whether it's a wet tracker or not. I thought Give Me Space is probably more likely to be the one that will get through this. So look, it is difficult to split them, but I do have Give Me Space on top, but I've pretty much separated them from the rest of the market.
Yeah, I agree. I think Amazing Eagle, it's always been a good trialer. Even before it started its career, it was dominating trials and started really short in its first 2 runs over 1,000 metres and got rolled at short odds. And they went 2 stronger races, especially the Canberra 2-year-old race. He got rolled, a little bit held up. But last start at Randwick, it led at a pretty slow tempo. It was an advantage to be on speed that day. It got protested against. It kind of fell in. So I'm not sold on this horse at 1,200 metre, especially on a wet track. I think it's more of a 1,100, 1,000 metre horse. So from that line, I'm kind of betting against Amazing Eagle. If it wins, good luck to it. But I just don't think it definitely couldn't have won from where Give Me Space was last start. Give Me Space is a proper beast. I just love this horse so much. It's the little question mark, is the heavy track being so powerful and with such a good turn of foot. I think King Potter is the roughie of the race by Rosset. It should get through the wet track. It got taken on last start in the same race that Give Me Space came out of. It's the one that I'll be definitely being on also. So Give Me Space clearly on top. Hopefully it's not too wet, and King Potter is the roughie.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a 3-way horn here because you like Give Me Space also, John McLeod.
Yeah, exactly what GK said is that, really, he only got balanced up really with about 100 to go the other day, and he made up 4 lengths or something. It was just big. Harley, the jockey, 9 out of 10 jockeys would have pulled out of that gap, and he didn't. But, the horse was buffeted, and whenever I see a horse buffeted, I just forgive him. And he actually did the other thing. He just picked up and just found another gear. So I think he's very hard to beat. He's a nice horse. I think the wet track is going to be a positive, even though it is a little bit of a concern that he has got such a good turn of foot that can be dull, but the breed love it. And I think Amazing Eagle, the breed go backwards in it. And I thought exactly what Donnie said. I thought it was disappointing first start when it won. It was on the best part of the track and had a soft lead. I don't think I'll be flat out getting it into a place, the toppy. I think Cosmic Fire is the danger to Give Me Space. I think it's by the same breed of Give Me Space. They, as I said, they did handle it. They backed it off the map the other day at Caloundra. It was a bulldog horse in the finish. He just ran through the line. He could have come back a pretty decent horse. He went from a pretty ordinary race in Lismore or down Northern Rivers and blew him away, and then went to a big race in town. So they had a big opinion of it. And, I think he's definitely not the danger, but a horse that I can save on.
Yeah, I sort of blackbooked the Cosmic Fire win, and I noted that he was probably in the right ground, but I love the way he toughed it out. I think Bulldog, the description that you've made for this horse is spot on, and I was devastated that he sort of popped up in the same race with Gimme Space, and be interested to see what the market does if the syndicates sort of latch on, hopefully, to Amazing Eagle, thinking he's just going to lead, and hopefully that can anchor his price in, and they take a bit of a risk with Gimme Space, thinking he's going to map poorly. I look at his breeding, and Give Me Space breeding is absolute duck material. So, yeah, may dull his sprint, but I think he could just get it growing outboard motor, and he could put a space on him. So, fantastic to see him take on a horse with a bit of Sydney form. And, yeah, I think Cosmic Fire is definitely the fly in the influence. So, I think you guys will all be very happy if he can get some clear and definitely make a meal of those ones. And interested to see what the next play from the Lockwood Yard is with that horse. Doomben Race 10 is the next one. It's the City to Surf Cutest 3-year-old over 1630 metres. A punter, $3.70. Noble Decree, $5. Blue Pinot is 8 into $5.50. Can't Recall, $1, $6. Moonsweeper, $7.50 to $6.50. Italian Riviera, $16. Banksy Beach, 16, Chaparral Chase, 17, Sun Worshipper, 7, same quote, and then 21 or much, much better, the rest. Horse you boys like here, Donnie and John McLeod, is Moonsweeper. He's the grey, tipped at last start. He's sort of just laying in there over the Sears runner, and he's just wheels spun in the mud here. Johnny McLeod, heavy track is my big query with this horse, but he's going to be dangerous if he finds a soft or so.
Yeah, I'm just looking at how wet type. What we think about wet, and it's not the best, but it does. We've got the breed improving by about 2%, but it's not good. So the breed mustn't be much good, I don't think. But the one thing that I would say about this horse is, I was keen on it the other day, and I thought it'd be hard to beat. I looked at it in the yard, and I went totally off it. Now, the reason was it's a dirty growl, and they're very, very hard to work out, but it's not. It's more like a stayer in type. It's more like a 2,000 metre horse for sure. And so I think the 1,600 on a wet track is just right up its alley. And if you just watched the last 100 metres the other day, it was just starting to just move nicely, that last 100. And, comparing it with Can't Recall One sprinted on it. And then at the last bit, Can't Recall One was either, sort of had not enough, but just kept it whacked away, whereas the other one was just starting to grow another leg. So I think it's going to be very hard to beat. I'm just going on that the dirty grey got me in the other day, and that's the reason why I just was turned off it. But I think, One Gate, I think it's possibly could be third on the fence here. And by this stage, hopefully they're all getting out to the middle.
It's a fascinating one because Puissance de Lune absolutely loved the wet, and so did Show a Heart. He was a brave warrior. So I'm breeding, yes. And Donnie, you think this horse can lead from barrier one and maybe just needs that rail. Still pretty green, still pretty new to it. And he's always looked like a horse that once he gets out in trip, he could be deadly. So he might only just really start to get cranked up at 1,600, do you think?
Yeah, I'm horny here, Scoot. I'm very keen on Moonsweeper here. I just what John didn't mention is the start of the last race. It jumped clearly in front, and Andrew Mallon snagged it back to last on a slow tempo. Then you saw it at the top of the straight. It looked like he was laying in, but he couldn't quite get over heels, so it put the horse off a few strides as well. So from gate one, they've changed the jockey. Damien Thornton's on. He's not really an aggressive jockey. He's not one that likes to lead, so which is a small concern. But it'll bounce in front. There's probably one horse that may come over and try and take it on, and that is Noble Decree. But if they want, they can lead. And if it does lead, I don't know if I'll be able to watch the rest of the race. I'll be shaking that hard. So I'm very keen on Moonsweeper. It meets a punter who won that last race, 3.5 kilos in the weight, better off. Can't Recall One. It's going to be well back in the field, as is a punter. He doesn't start well. It's going to have a massive break on its main rivals in running, and I think it's going to set up perfectly. If it gets through the track, look out, because this thing is going well, and I'm very keen here.
Wow, we need a fire blanket, a bucket of water, or a stallion chain. You got one spare, GK?
No, but I couldn't hide anything from you guys. This is one that I've already bet on as well. So just add me into the mix as well. I like that last start. Like, it was exactly as Donnie said. Like, the jump when it was just 4 or 5 wide, so it's a Malley and snagged it, and then it was the last 100, as John said, that got me in as well. And then there's just a race with absolutely no tempo here, so it's just going to lob in the first 2 pairs. I think it's a great bet.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I think it has to start shorter, and for all those reasons that you guys mentioned, like the punters in poorly at the weights, Can't Recall One, barrier 16. Yeah, there's just so many convictions, and it's just a chinky race. There's just no guts to this race. So, just wish Ange Jones was on.
Is the bottom one got to run? Is the bottom one got to run yet?
Not yet.
It'll get in surely.
No.
That's the one that they've backed. 8 into 550.
I
the
agree.
blue points go super.
I agree. It's the danger. It got held up slightly at Canterbury last start, and that's only out of a maiden, but this race isn't much stronger, especially once you take out a punter and Can't Recall Rhyme just because of the map position. Blue Point will follow the horse wearer on Moonsweeper, and it's probably the chance to nab us on the post.
Just filthy Waller job.
Yeah, filthy wallet job. It'll be filthy undies job if Moonsweeper wins, though.
Oh, gosh. Let's move on to the TopSport early bets. They went 2 from 4 last week, so Torabella and Orton for the faithful there. But Doomben race 6, this could be one of your bets, Johnny McLeod. Miss Jolene, race 6, number 3, 250 at 950 here. Happy to have the bet, or would you be putting it in the bag, Johnny Mac?
Disappointing the other day, the way that the other one just tore away from it. It might have been a second up syndrome, but I'm not bagging it. I'm just sitting on the fence for the thing. Just don't know what to think about it. I was disappointed that he couldn't actually try and go with the other thing. He just won't.
Yeah, it's exact same thing. Like I just the way Transatlantic sprinted away. My notes out of that race was on Miss Jolene that I just want to see more before I'm on her again.
The next one's easy. Race 7, number 14, break free. So we just want to teleport that bet into Grafton, and it'll be fastest fingers first. If anyone can beat Donny to the price there. And Doomben race 10 is the next one. And hopefully this is someone sort of throwing a couple of dummies, someone super smart, and hopefully they're just firing in some small bets to get a better price on Moonsweeper. But it's $3.50 on Noble Decree at $6.50, and then race 10, number 16, Blue Pinot, $300 at $8 there. So I've had a pretty decent chat about those. And time for Team Multi. Gosh, I thought we were over the line, and it was $4. So you guys would have broken square since we started the competition, or you'd be just in front. I can't remember when we started it, but nearly got the $4 treble home, but Bubba's Bay couldn't fall into a second or top 2 finish there. But Donnie, we might start with you. Top 2, team special.
I'll go Sunny Coast tonight. Ooh La La in race 2. I'll leave the others, tomorrow's races, for the other boys.
Beautiful. So you're going to have to get in early and get set early before Sunshine Coast race number 2. GK, your lock of the week for top 2 finish?
Hidden Wealth.
Hidden Wealth. Beautiful. That might put Johnny Mac in all sorts. What have you got for us?
We got Moonsweeper at $3, so we can't go past the $7.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
We've got to have more.
Here we go.
Just absolute mock job.
I've got 20 corporate websites open on my screen now, and I'm trying to tap away before this price is gone.
Oh, dear.
Hopefully,
Human damn strength.
Yeah, hopefully bookies can't pay. So yeah, the last 2 legs of the quaddie, gimme space in a Moonsweeper could stop the nation, or could close TopSport's offices. But great show again, and hopefully they get a little bit of a break in the weather, and hopefully the meeting can go ahead full steam, because not sure if I can cope for another delay. That said, the missus is away next Monday or Tuesday, so if they did push the meeting back, I'd love to go and see the boys up in Brisbane on a Monday or Tuesday and sneak up and go watch a couple of races. But fingers crossed they get the job done, because Racing Queensland's doing a fine job of things at the moment. And again, TopSport 110% markets. Make sure you check those out. All right, good luck, Donnie, with Moonsweeper, and good luck with all your bets across the card, gentlemen. And we'll see you this same time, same channel next week.